Hey YouTube, Shuko and Shinobi here, bringing you a review of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Swerve. I really wasn't planning on picking up Swerve because all he is a repaint of Sideswipe. But he was sitting there alone in Walmart today with no sign of his wave mates. RC and Stalker Scorponok are both in the wave with this, and they didn't have either of them. In fact, the only thing on the Walmart shelves were a bunch of Wave 3 or 4 figures, whatever the wave with Wheelie and Chromia and stuff is. So somebody might have returned him to that Walmart, I don't know, but he was there. I looked at him. The red really caught my eye. Red's like my favorite color. So I was like, oh, what the hell, and I just went ahead and picked him up anyway. Sideswipe's Deluxe mold's pretty good, so I'm not really too concerned about wasting money or anything like that. But he looks pretty cool. Here's a little picture of his head. I think his head mold might be different than Sideswipe. I actually need to go look at it to make sure, because I don't remember. But here we have a picture of Sideswipe's robot mode, and then the Stingray concept mode at the bottom down here. And his bio says, Swerve is highly intelligent, though you wouldn't know it to watch him drive. His duties as a metallurgist and fabricator for the Autobots expose him to a lot of toxic chemicals, which his circuits have been constantly exposed to for years. He has trouble holding a straight line as a result. The other Autobots prefer to keep him far away from battle since he aims about as well as he drives. He has no guns. Why does it matter? Whatever. Bios don't have to make sense anymore, apparently. But so evidently he's like either always drunk or always high, or he's on drugs or something like that. So we keep getting some pretty fucked up characters for Revenge of the Fallen lines. But I'll go ahead and take him out of the package, and we will have a look at him and compare him to the Sideswipe. Okay, so here we have Swerve in vehicle mode. He's the Corvette Stingray concept model they got going on. Who knows if this is ever actually going to get produced like this, but same exact mold as Sideswipe. In fact, he's right here. Same exact thing. The only major key differences between the two molds, or models, I guess I'll say, since they're just repaints, there's nothing on Sideswipe's license plate, while on Swerve's there's a Autobot logo, if you can see it. Probably can't, but there's an Autobot logo there, I promise. The front of Swerve has a colored Corvette symbol. It's gold right here, as opposed to Sideswipe's blank. The headlights on the back on Sideswipe are red, and on Swerve they're orange. Windows are the same tint of blue. Nothing changed there. And same clear headlights up here. So really that's all in terms of vehicle mode for the two. My only gripe about Swerve is that the red on this section right here, the back, is a different color than this red. I'm not sure if you can, yeah, you can tell on the camera. It's probably just because this is a red plastic and then this was painted, as opposed to this where it's entirely painted in the same silver. So that's my guess, but I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. To change Swerve, all you have to do, it's the same steps as Sideswipe, but since I never actually reviewed Sideswipe, I'll just go ahead and go through it real quick. You're going to want to pop out the arms like so. Just kind of let them be. On the front here, going to want to pop out the legs. And this just kind of like pops upwards and then folds out. On mine, the left one over here keeps popping off. I don't know why, but I'll have to look into it. But you just kind of have to watch out. If anybody else has Swerve and watches this, let me know if yours is all effed up too, because I'm kind of curious. But anyway, his really shitty feet fold right here. fold down, fold down, fold, fold, and fold. See, it fell off again. This folds up and folds over. If I can get it to go right, there we go. One thing that they fixed in Swerve's mold was the latch right here. On Sideswipe, it would be really loose. In fact, most of the time it wouldn't even stay together like at all. But on Swerve, it's nice and tight. I'm not having any problems with it at all, and that makes me really happy. Attach this back on there again. Yeah. Alright. Good enough. Actually, it would help if I do it right, wouldn't it? Fold this all up like so. Same thing over here. Fold this up like so, and just kind of close it in. If you can hear that, that's my screensaver. It's the Bumblebee screensaver that's on the Transformers movie website. So he'll constantly be firing cannons throughout this review because I don't feel like turning off the volume to my computer. Fold his blades down. You can keep them folded up if you want to, but it makes them look less menacing. Standing him is a pain. Absolute pain, but I got it, I think. So, push him back just a tiny bit more. And here we have Swerve in robot mode. He's obviously inspired from G1 Swerve and G1 Sideswipe. Personally, I think he should have been red in the first place. The Autobots didn't have any red cars. They've already had a silver car with Jazz. It would have made more sense to make the Stingray concept red, but apparently, I'm pretty sure it's probably Pontiac's doing, but GM, not Pontiac, whatever. I'm terrible with cars, so. So while I transform Sideswipe really quick to do a comparison, I'll talk a little bit. I'll have a review of Scorponok and RC when I get them, even though RC is terrible. We'll just deal with what we get, I suppose. I'll say right now, overall, I like Swerve a lot better than Sideswipe, actually. Mostly based on color alone, but he fixes the problems with the mold that I had, basically with the whole connection problem, but that's all fixed, and I'm really glad. Okay. So here is Sideswipe and Swerve right next to each other. Instead of moving the figures because they fall all the damn time, I'm just going to kind of pop the camera out and take a look at them. As you can tell, here's Sideswipe and here's Swerve. Swerve has a completely new head sculpt. Hasbro said in an interview in one of the question and answer things that they were trying to make the repaints of figures with new heads so that they can be differentiated between characters, and that's something I really appreciate. It makes buying the repaints worthwhile, in my opinion. But that aside, there really isn't any other differences. Once again, Swerve has more paint applications. Down here is silver, as opposed to blue down here. Once again, the Corvette symbol is painted gold. These two waist spike things are painted gold, while they're unpainted over on Sideswipe. Those are the only real additional paint applications, but Swerve's head... looks so shitty. Sorry about that. Swerve's head has some paint applications on it, a lot more than Sideswipe's. So it's kind of like the repaint is actually a lot better than the original figure. The only thing I actually like about Sideswipe more than Swerve is the fact that Sideswipe's taillights are red, so they stick out a lot more. On Swerve, you can barely see them, and even from here, it kind of looks unpainted because they're cast in orange pieces instead of the red, or in this case, blue would have worked nice. but maybe I can replace that sometime, who knows. But that is about all for these two guys. There we go. I'm really glad I picked him up. He was definitely worth the $10 at Walmart. They were on sale for some reason that I didn't know about, but so it was a surprise going through the checkout. But I really like Swerve. I highly recommend him, especially if you didn't get Sideswipe. If you did get Sideswipe, I'd still pick him up. The added waist connection is really nice, and the colors are just spectacular on Swerve. So, highly recommended, and until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.